Hello there, Packet Loss Esports here with our unbiased opinion on Redfall. Redfall is a new game launched recently on March 1, 2023. It is developed by Arcane Austin, a division of Arcane Studios, best known for the Dishonored franchise and the Prey franchise. It is published by Bethesda, and we all know how their launches can be. Redfall is a first-person shooter based in an open world that has been invaded by vampires. This is an exciting premise and is pretty unique. It is multiplayer but can be easily played single-player. Our first view of this game was very promising. The launch trailer looks great. It has a very spooky vibe and looks really good. It has Fortnite-styled graphics, but it looks like it is a more adult game. The vampires at first glance look scary and dangerous. They look like they have a lot of variations and look like they can put up a fight. Upon starting a new game, you have to choose a survivor. I have to say, at first glance, before characters are all very different, but there is really no initial customization available. That is something I would have liked to see out of a multiplayer game, or completely customizable characters or classes. The 4 characters have different skills. Remy in our first playthrough has a combat bot to help out as well as explosives. Layla has psychic powers like a shield, temporary flight, and a helpful summon. Devinder has an electric javelin skill good for zapping multiple enemies, teleportation skill and a stun skill. Jacket has Raven used for enemy locating, a stealth cloak, and a heavy damage rifle skill. Now on to gameplay. Our first impressions of the world is it very different from what we are used to. Many of the buildings are accessible and there are definitely a lot for them. The world does not feel sparse or empty. But between destinations there is not a lot going on. World seems pretty dead. Maybe that's because there is vampires everywhere killing everyone. There are pockets of enemies but there is not a lot happening between point A and point B. The world does look nice and is scary. You do feel like you do not know what's waiting for you around every corner. Graphics do have a very Fortnite feel but not in a bad way. The map is also relatively small. There is a lot packed into it, but it's not very large and can be traversed pretty quickly. There are a lot of obstacles in your way that you need to find your way around safely to make up for the small map. We have a few hours into the game and feel the plot is very lacking. Nothing in the story feels fleshed out or explained. You wake up on a boat, escape the boat with no enemies in sight. Then finally you have to find a way into town and can fight enemies or avoid them. The enemies are vampires and humans allied with the vampires to save themselves. You must reach some captured survivors, rescue them and create a base. There's no excitement in the base and it's very basic. Survivors in base do not do much or say much. There's a few vendors and a mission table and walls to keep vampires out. That said, the missions aren't bad and start explaining the story a bit. That being said, we are still trying to figure out what's going on. Missions are very go here and do this and come back. They have a bit of variety but not much depth. Combat is not bad but it is not good, very basic, shoot to kill and some stabbing. Enemy eye is okay, they can overwhelm you in numbers to where you can almost die. They do hide behind in-game objects and attack from multiple angles and levels. But that said, hours in and we haven't died yet. Looting is very basic. Some weapons drop of different qualities and types, handguns, rifles, shotguns, and so forth. Any other pickups are health or auto turn into money. So scavenging feels dead and boring. There is no crafting system and everything is found or bought. Skills seem well thought out. Basically ammo and health increases and expansions of your survivor's base skills. A lot of users are complaining about bugs. We have not experienced any on multiple systems, but they are relatively high-end. Many users report broken enemies or crashes. The menu is very slow. Loading in a picture of your character takes a significant amount of time. It is not very well polished. Also, the game takes up a lot of storage even though the game is pretty basic. 100 plus gigabytes. I would expect a lot more out of it. As you can see from our gameplay, buildings are well designed and look great. There is quite a bit of variety, but if you notice, most buildings are not accessible. When you do find ones that you can enter, they are not cookie cutter. Watch as we loot items, it just turns to cash, no weight limits to worry about. On a positive note, many objects like cars and containers are lootable but they feel bland. Enemies go down quick and easy. We barely use any ammo, so running out feels like not a threat. In early moments of game, your ammo is very limited and can feel like scavenging is really necessary, but later on you have all ammo you need. Bosses are a little challenging because enemies will swarm from all over, but even then the bosses go down fast. As traverse we see some dangers like falls, explosive canisters, and an ominous red mist. They are all easy to navigate around and you can see there is not much threats. You can unlock fast travel real early in forms of monuments and other safe houses. You need to power on safe houses and clear some enemies to use, but they do not feel difficult and there is not much to do in them. No survivors inside or vendors. Fast travel is quick and painless, and once unlocked you can skip around the map at no cost. So much of the filler can be avoided. You might also notice in our travels we hear vampires and the big bad antagonist of the game, but there is not many of them. True to form, many of them are found indoors, maybe a couple at a time and at night. Yet it feels like for a vampire game there is not many vampires to make it scary. Initially we felt some dread, thinking we would run into them exploring the firehouse or a few other mission goals. When we finally found them, they did not put up much of a fight. There are no jump scares like Dead Island 2, The Last of Us, or Dying Light, similarly themed games where enemies can suddenly be a real threat. We do not want to spoil story for you, but it's a classic trope. Lone survivor of an accident, travels around, finds some weapons, rescues people from a new enemy, and tries to figure out what's going on. Hopefully as we go the story gets deeper, as I for one would love to know more about these vampires. We feel if they add depth to this game it could make a comeback. Add more enemies in between destinations. Add a character customization besides unlocked skins. Add crafting so looting feels necessary. Add life to the NPC survivors. There is the option to talk to them but they say nothing and do nothing. Add them to open world doing some surviving. Make the world feel more scary. Put some enemies that really challenge us. All in all, we feel the game is not bad, but not good. It has no depth or polish. If this was an independent studio we could say they did a great job, but this is a AAA game. AAA game with AAA price, that feels rushed, and need we say it again, does not feel alive. It is missing core systems that would give this game life, crafting being a major one. Will we keep playing this game? Yes, we want to see what happens, and we hope they will go back and fix this game and grow it into the AAA game it was meant to be. Would we pay $70 for it? No, but it is free on Game Pass, that's a plus. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe so we can create more content like this that you want to see. Until next time.